Good evening and welcome to Shamanic Journey number 90. And in terms of our meeting today and the subject itself, I find it very interesting and pertinent. The subject of victim mindset and how to overcome it. And I think it's a very, very powerful situation that we're faced with in when it comes to victim mindset. I know I've mentioned this before and I'll mention it again. I grew up in a house where I saw people generating love and attention through being a victim. That when you were in a power position, when you took charge, you were diminished to a lower place in the family, within my immediate family. And what that did was it basically made me feel that it's better to be in this victim mindset where I'll be getting love and attention and I won't be isolated or ostracized for growing from that mindset or that energy. And what it did was it disabled my ability as a young person to know how to be in a power position again, because I saw the opposite to being true. And then as I got older, you go in different situations that whatever energy you're living in, whatever energy you're feeling about yourself, you attract that energy back. And so you find people who you seek to have them remedy or take away the victim mindset by sympathizing or empathizing with your emotions or feelings, but the opposite takes place. Because in many times we meet people who have the same tendencies within ourselves, but just reject them and keep that and use an aggression or a different type of a pathway to release that. The main thing for us when we're dealing with victim mindset is to recognize our self-worth. What are we feeling at that moment? What's going on within ourselves? And how are we diminishing ourselves by the inner voice, by our certain actions, that when we feel that low self-esteem, that low self-worth. And there are many times where people then take charge and they do something from somebody and then they didn't get back or receive in a balanced way what they gave out, and then they become victims again. It's very important for us to recognize these behaviors, and for us also to make sure that we stay away from people who enable victim mindset. In other words, people that listen to our stories over and over again, that enable us to continue on in the same pattern. It's important for us to find people or surround ourselves with people that lift us up and help us grow, rather than keep us in a place where they themselves feel comfortable in that victim mindset itself. And I'm not looking at this as a negative attribute. What I'm looking at this is it's an important aspect for us to develop our own story, our own self-esteem, our own self-worth. And we can't do it until we recognize the fact of how we're feeling like a victim and to overcome it. So the first thing is to bring awareness to it, to shine a light on it, and then we can make a shift. And some of the ways that we can make a shift with victim mindset or overcoming it is to have compassion for ourselves, to recognize the inner conflict and the dialogue that's going on and come out ahead by talking yourself into something positive. I think the more you do it, the more you develop the skill of feeling more positive about yourself. It also requires us to unmask or uncover the inner wound that we shield by continuously victimizing ourselves with that energy. And instead of opening ourselves up, we're closing ourselves up. So a good thing is to be kind to yourself so that you can be open, that you can be forgiving and change. Also, it's important for us to take responsibility, to be cognitive and aware of exactly the things I'm saying. And because otherwise, if we're not aware, then we can't make that shift or change. And lastly is we want to try to forgive others who are in a position of, or forgive ourselves as well, who are in these positions, so that we can help them and they can help themselves, and be kind and compassionate with people. And again, mostly with ourselves, because remember, it all centers around love and our own self-worth and how we value ourselves. And when we're able to love ourselves, then the outside world returns that energy back to us. And then we are in a state of receptivity. All right, so what I'd like to do today is I'd like to go on a guided meditation, Shamanic Journey. This is Shamanic Journey number 90, to overcoming victim mindset. And we'll go through a journey, and whatever spirit animal you come in contact with, listen for the information. Just be open and receptive. It's not a matter of controlling the dialogue. It's a matter of just receiving and seeing where the images and the information goes. Okay, so let's get started. And whoever joins me on the replay, whoever comes in live, I want to thank you for joining me and being a participant here. And one of the things I just wanted to point out that you may know or may not know is I do a lot of different healing modalities to assist people. One of them is the soul prints, where I analyze a person's fingerprints and tell them the different school that they belong to, which is a very helpful tool. It helps you understand actually the path that you will go through in order to find your true self. And one of the paths is victim mindset, is usually in the school of service. That school of service is the ability to help others, but we first have to learn how to heal ourselves and help ourselves in order to do that. And other things is the Akashic record readings, where I help people find their path, their soul's connection, and get answers from the person's masters, teachers, ancestors, and loved ones. Okay, so we'll get started with the journey by taking a deep breath in and exhaling. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Get comfortable, either sitting or lying down. Close your eyes and let's go on our journey. breath in. And you thank the spirit animal for the information that it passed on to you. And you head back to the cave. Using your hands to navigate through the darkness. Finding the light from the other side. And making your way through. Back on the trail. The sun shines on your face. You take a deep breath in as you walk. You stop in front of an oak tree and put your hands around it. You feel the exchange of energy. You take a deep breath in and release your hands, and you thank the tree. As you walk past and out of the forest. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Move your fingers, move your toes, shrug your shoulders, and when you're ready, come back into the room. All right, so that was Shamanic Journey number 90 to overcoming victim mindset. And as I mentioned at the very beginning, I was discussing the fact that we all, at different aspects and times of our life, feel like a victim. We may have experienced it in the house where we saw a person, a guardian, a parent, another person victimize themselves by craving love and attention, but not knowing how to do it. And by putting themselves in a position of lowering themselves where everybody is hurting them, everybody's victimizing them, and they can't do right by anyone. The important thing for us to do is to evaluate our inner dialogue, to understand the words we're using, and to be able to come to some resolution to recognize the fact that we are the one in charge of our lives, and we can control and raise our level of self-worth and our self-value by, first of all, having the awareness and understanding that we can get love and compassion from ourselves, and then we could resonate that into the outer world. And we can always change our story. We can always change our outlook and our way of life. We also want to make sure that we stay away from people who enable the self-pity, the low self-esteem mindset. In other words, it's easy to find people who will hook into that energy and victimize you, and you'll be victimized because you'll think that somebody's out to help you, when in fact they're really dragging you down. So it's better to find your own way, on your own course, and be around people who are on the path to finding themselves and raising themselves to a higher level. All right, again, I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday evening. If you're watching this on a replay, I hope you enjoy. And again, my website is adamgaleuniversalhealing.com. If you're interested for an Akashic record reading or an energy clearing from a distance or in person, you can get in contact with me. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and thank you for joining me. Bye.